Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to do a comparison between Wolverine and Spider-Man, and we're going to figure out who can sense danger first. Because as you know, we got Wolverine's heightened senses, but on the other hand, we got Spider-Man's spider sense, which is unmatched. But we'll figure it out right after this. So what I want to do is start this comparison off with Spider-Man. Spider-Man has a spider sense that alerts him of danger, so he knows whether he needs to jump, duck, block, or get out the way of an attack. But his spider sense is primarily a heightened ability of self-preservation, which means if you're close by and his spider sense goes off, it's primarily geared towards saving him first. And the way his spider sense notification system works, he pretty much sees something happening like a split second before it actually happens. And it's been times where because of that, he's just had to react and leave whoever else he's with to figure out what they're going to do on their own. Because when he's alerted of danger, he only has a split second to make a decision on what he's actually going to do. And to make the spider sense effective, he also has quick reflexes and agility. And now Spider-Man is quicker and more agile than Wolverine. Those attributes are more imperative to his spider sense, meaning that if he only had spider sense, he would just see what's going to happen and suffer the consequence. But even as quick as he is, sometimes that's not enough. Like this instance here where one of the Mole Man's minions had summoned this huge creature to eat the ground up from under him, just the spider sense and the reflexes wasn't enough. So now for Wolverine. Out of his heightened senses, his sense of smell is what he uses the most because he can track a scent for miles away. He can also remember a scent and tie it to an individual. And I'm going to give you an example why that's huge. So anytime that Wolverine has a matchup with any particular foe, he remembers their scent. Anytime he meets somebody, that's a scent that he's tied to a profile of that particular person. So to say, if he were to be ambushed by a person, not only would he know far off that they're coming, but he would know who they are and what to expect. And on top of that, if he were to smell any gunpowder or anything like that, he'd be able to identify if they're armed or not. So this also gives Logan an advantage of knowing what to expect ahead of time. So he doesn't see it like Spider-Man sees it, but he gets pieces of a picture to put together before engaging with that threat. Now, on the flip side of it, if there's any jump scare type of situation, not to say that he's scared, but just for lack of better words. But if he's in a situation where he sees somebody there and just figures them to be harmless, whether they're unarmed or incapacitated or show themselves as friendly, he doesn't have that advantage like Spider-Man to the moment where they try to engage that he'll be alerted and he'll know to respond. So if he's caught in that type of situation, he just has to deal with whatever it is however he can. So this is why a lot of the time you'll see Logan being very cynical or very pessimistic, I should say. And it's that type of perspective along with his training that keeps him alive. So now with Spider-Man, there are some exceptions to how soon he's alerted or even if he will be alerted at all. So now because he was previously bonded with the symbiote that Venom has, Spider-Man's spider sense is completely useless against Venom. Because anytime that Venom wants to get the drop on him, all he has to do is just show up. Like in this instance here where Spider-Man's taking down some of White Rabbit's henchmen, Venom creeps up behind Peter without making a sound. And Peter thinks the guys are running away from him, but really they're running from Venom, who's just hanging out behind him looking creepy as hell. And Peter won't know he's there until Venom wants him to know that he's there. Meaning that when they're engaged in a fight, that Spider-Man doesn't have a spider sense to assist him, knowing that he's going to throw a punch or whatnot. But Peter's pretty lucky in this instance because when Venom pops up, all they really do is hang around town, go sightseeing, swing by Ray's, and get some free pizza. Go figure. But in any other circumstance, Spider-Man does have the advantage of his spider sense giving him the wherewithal to know whether he needs to go in this direction, that direction, and how to avert from danger in that specific instance, which is a huge help in his case. Because unlike Logan, Peter doesn't have any military training to know how to assess and evaluate the situation. He's just given a quick blueprint on how to get out of harm's way at a moment's notice. And depending on the circumstances, that blueprint is way more important than any training that you could ever get. So now I'm going to go to one of the best references that we can use in this comparison. And I'm going to use an instance where both Spider-Man and Wolverine were at the same place when they were attacked. And I did it this way so we have a more even comparison, because from reading two different panels you can't really tell the timing of who saw what first, how far away it was, and how much time they had to react to it. This way they're both in the same place, so when they react to it, that variable, which is the threat, remains consistent in both instances. So when this happened, they were both with the Avengers team, fresh off the Quinjet coming back from a mission. And there's a mysterious figure about 20 feet to their right hand side, creeping around in the shadows, and immediately Wolverine picks up his scent. And I want you to notice here that no spider sense has gone off. And Spider-Man's like, I know that sniff. I fear that sniff. It's like the less good looking cousin of my spider sense. And it's immediately after that that the attack starts. And on top of that, Wolverine sniffs out that there's a bigger problem going on inside the building. And so now this leads me to the closest thing for kind of an exception for Wolverine's senses. Because the person who set this trap also tried to cover their scent. And this intruder also has the ability to manipulate their own pheromones. So even though he doesn't smell the same, Wolverine knows who this person is because only one person who's able to do that also knows the Avengers Tower. And when he figures that out, he tells everybody to stay back because this guy's going to totally murder everybody that runs into this room. But I have to say this intruder is smart because he's placed his scent everywhere and it's a heavy scent within a closed area. So as far as distance to how far he is, it's kind of hard for Logan to pinpoint it. But if I had to pick one person to be the Venom to his Spider-Man, as far as being undetected or getting past his sense of smell, it would have to be his son, Daken. So now, even though Daken can't get past Wolverine fully undetected like Venom can for Spider-Man, his ability usually works better in reverse, to where if he's trying to get away from Wolverine, it's easier for him to duck around a corner, mix in the crowd, change his scent, and get away that way. But here, where Daken gets the drop on Wolverine, a lot more planning was involved. And even with that, Wolverine knew that it was him. And that's why he told Spider-Man and Hawkeye to stay back. It was more so for their safety. And so with all that being said, in this instance of who senses danger first, I'd have to go Wolverine. He definitely has the greater advantage in this comparison to being notified earlier of an attack or of a threat, because he's going to smell it coming quite some time before he even has to deal with it. And like, I really tried to find an instance to where he smelled something coming and he didn't go in that direction of danger. Usually he's just picking up the clues as he goes and planning a strategy at the same time. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, whether you agree or disagree, or even if you can think of an instance where Wolverine has smelled danger and went in the opposite direction. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Oh, and just as an announcement, I'm working on doing a schedule for all the videos so you guys know when to tune in. As for right now, I'm going to be doing like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday releases. But moving forward, I have my most current schedule in the description and in the about section. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll throw up some links so you can check out my other stuff as well. And we'll do it again next time. All right, later.